Hey, my name is Knox. This is a story I've told over and over, but it's my first time putting it up on the internet, so bear with me. Back in high school, I didn't have a lot of friends. I play a fair bit of football, but I never got on with the team. I spent a lot of my time in the school library, reading just about every book I can find. There's someone else in the library I see every day, all on her own. Her name is Arahi. She's quiet, geeky, soft-spoken, loves her manga. Always saying sorry all the time. We pass each other a lot, but never say a word. One time she approaches me, stands right in front and does a nervous little cough. I look up from my book, and she says,
Hi.
I say hi back. She stares, then says in the tiniest whisper of a voice I've ever heard.
I just wanted to say hi.
She speed walks out of the library faster than I've seen anyone walk in my life. I see her the next day. We say hi again. We chat about the books we're reading. Before you know it, we hang out and talk every day. We get so close we even meet up outside of school. Now, my home and family life are hostile, to put it pleasantly. But that's a story for another time. Arahi and her mother are so nice, though, that they invite me over to their house every other day. I do my best to repay their kindness, taking out the trash, washing dishes, occasionally helping cook some apple pie dessert with Arahi, assuming her mum doesn't chase us out of the kitchen. They even convert their spare study into a mini bedroom for me so I don't have to crash on their couch. I was having a really tough time at home, so their generosity changed my life. At that point, we were practically family. Of course, because it's her house, Arahi has a habit of walking into this bedroom without knocking whenever she wants to chat. One time, she walks in right as I start changing clothes. I've warned her enough times to knock, but this time I decide, fine, if you're going to do that, then I'm going to change right in front of you. So, I do. And I can't believe as she watches the whole thing, expressionless, talking about some odd thing she did as if this is the most normal thing in the world. Afterwards, once I have my footy top on, she goes quiet, waits a second, then whispers.
You're really fit.
I just stare at her. I don't know how to respond to that. She blushes hard and says,
Sorry, I should stop saying things.
and that's it. We don't talk about it after that. Things cool down as we get near the end of school. You know when you like someone, but you don't know if they like you back, so you end up barely talking, just looking at each other? Pretty much that. I tell her I'm thinking about moving away when school's over. Get away from my family and do some traveling. She doesn't say anything. Later I get a text. It's Arahi.
Do you really have to leave?
Oh, I freeze. But what do I text back? I write a dozen things and delete them all. I end up calling her, saying I haven't decided yet. She's upset. It doesn't say much. I spend all night thinking about it. Can't sleep, sick to my stomach. I think I know why. The next day, I drag Arahi along to a graduation party. Us two typical loners. We only stick around for a bit, not talking to anyone before we move off into the gardens together. Each time we're alone, we sit down, she moves in close and stares at me, cheeks red, her eyes following my lips with every word. It's a little awkward. We both want to, but nobody is making the first move. After a while, we stop talking. We just sit there, listening to the sounds of the party in the distance. My brain is silently flipping coins. Do I? Don't I? But sometimes you just have to trust your gut. I might never get this chance again. I turn to her and say, my heart about to explode out my chest. I say, to hell with it. I slip my hands around the back of her head, threading my fingers through her luscious chestnut hair, pull her close and kiss her. And then she stops breathing. All I hear is a sharp inhale. She stares at me, shocked. Then she goes crazy. This quiet, reserved girl wraps her fingers around my face like I'm a Christmas present she never got to unwrap. Within a minute, she's on top of me, kissing every part of my face, gripping my arms with her nails so tight she's drawing blood. I can't believe it. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about someone for so many years, and within moments, had a chance to express all your pent-up feelings. But it's wild. All she can breathe out between kisses are the words.
I can't believe this is happening.
Over and over. We make out for the rest of the night. In the garden, at the party, on the porch, in front of everyone we know. They're teasing us, laughing. But nothing else matters anymore. I take her home and we spend the whole night together, locked in each other's arms. At one point, I see tears running down her face. I ask her what's wrong, and in typical Arahi fashion, she says sorry, hiding her face.
I'm gonna mess this up. I'm awkward and I don't know what I'm doing.
I run my hand through her hair again, and I make her look into my eyes. I say the thing I've wanted to say through all of high school. Arahi, I love you. I thought this might cheer her up, but she starts crying even more, saying,
I love you too.
over and over. After that, I've never felt so content as I did in that moment. I'll always have that memory. So, after school ends, I enroll in a writing and journalism course. Arahi finds part-time work in a cafe, I move into her house permanently, and we both do our best to save our money so we can find our own place. And as our relationships go, we end up with pet names. She calls me Bubblegum because of my hair, even in front of my friends and family. Doesn't matter if I'm embarrassed. So I start calling her Chestnut as revenge. But she seems to love it, so somehow it sticks. She loves designing her own cute little badges and buttons and textiles. In the morning she'd sketch something, during the day she'd go to work, and in the evening she'd come back with a stack of buns featuring her sketch and a dozen other things she'd been working on. She'd hide the ones printed with doodles or love messages everywhere for me to find. I'd open my novel manuscript and out would fall a button. I believe in you. It's these little things nobody knew about it that I'll miss the most. Private little moments, pieces of her. She asks if I'd ever do it for her. Make her a button. Just one button. I always say one day. One day. And now we come to March 8th. Our life together is only just starting. We've finished school, we're moving forward, things are great. Then March 8th. Arahi barely slept. She kept waking up, gasping, saying something about her head getting zapped awake. Headaches, sweating. If she were any older, I'd have thought she was having a heart attack. I wake up in the morning, but she isn't next to me. I hear the toilet flush. I think, oh, she's just in the bathroom. The door opens and in walks. Well, it's hard to describe how sick, how worried she looked. Pure panic. I should have registered how serious it was, but I figured she just had a rough night. She climbs back into bed. I ask her what's wrong. I'll never forget her response.
I have these bubbles in my eyes. I can't get out. And I'm scared.
At that point, I should have taken her to the hospital. I wish I had, but no. Here, take a painkiller. I need to get to my course. I give her a hug. I say, let me know how you feel around lunch and I'll come back. I left her there in bed. I can't even remember if we exchanged I love yous. I get to the station. I'm about to board a train when I get a call. It's her mum. The doctor says Arahi is in a coma, and it's not looking good. Where are you? My brain doesn't even register what she just said. I reply, the station. Her mum says through gasps and a cracking voice, if you want to talk to her, this might be your last chance. So I'm just looking around the station. I can't even process this. I just saw her. I jump into the first taxi I see. The whole ride, I'm hyperventilating, hoping this is a joke or a misunderstanding or something. I reach the hospital. I'm bolting through the corridors, asking every nurse I see where she is. But they don't need to say anything. I hear wailing coming from one of the rooms, and I recognize the voice. It's Arahi's mum. The doctor taps me on the shoulder. Are you Arahi's partner? I can't speak. I just nod. After an eternity, he speaks. I'm sorry to say, she passed moments ago. I didn't make it. I missed her by seconds. It just happened so quick. Even to this day, right now, I'm still processing it. They told me later on it was a stroke. One of the valves in her brain must have burst overnight. They said it was a freak thing, that there's not much I could have done. But I've had a lot of time to think. I know if I'd have taken her to the hospital, she might still be here. I went home. Her laptop is still sitting on her bed, all her figurines, her art books, everything laying there as if waiting for her to come back. I can't leave the house. I don't talk to anybody. I don't sleep. I collect as many buns as I can find and put them in a pile, as if somehow doing so will summon her back. I'll admit I feel angry, mostly at myself. None of this feels real until the funeral the next week. I keep it together as her family comes up one by one to talk about her life, stories from when she was a girl, even through the collage of Facebook and private photos they've projected onto the wall. But no. The part that really hits home is when her mother, her only parent, a tiny woman, slowly hobbles to the casket containing her daughter and puts a single rose on top and says goodbye. That image will always haunt me. Then it's my turn. I'd been saving a button to finally give to her on her birthday. It took me ages to find a printing place who could do it for me. It wasn't meant to be anything special, but as I place it down on the casket, it suddenly feels like one of the most important things in my life. I lean in and try to say... I try to say, sorry I was late. But the words catch in my throat and I can't do it. That was a while ago now. I've tried my best to move on, but things aren't the same. Every so often these days, I'll check in with her mother to make sure she's doing alright. She since moved into a retirement home and sold the house. It's good for her, I think. Less empty space and painful memories. Sometimes I'll bring her some apple pie, just like Arahi used to make. Since then, I've done my best to raise awareness for symptoms of stroke. I try to volunteer at every event I can. Not many people know that it can strike at all ages, and how quick and lethal it can be.